I'm Heather from The Junction. You can visit our website at www.the-junction.com, and Junction is Junction. I did a blog post yesterday and promised you guys I would try to do a video tutorial to follow that. So that's what I'm doing, is attempting a tutorial. I'm not techie, so I have my neighbor friend over here videoing for me, and we're going to try this out. Just to show you, this is one technique. What we're going to be doing today is using dark wax to change the look of furniture. There's so many ways that you can use different products. Today I'm using Sloan's wax. This is the clear wax and the dark wax. For what I'm doing today, we're just going to be using the dark wax. But a lot of times on my blog, you'll see me talk about the clear wax and using it before and after the dark wax. That's probably another story for another time. But generally, once I have a piece painted with Sloan's chalk paint, I sand it down pretty smooth and do any distressing I'm going to do. I put on the clear wax, and then I put on the dark wax to kind of get your antiqued look. And then I use clear wax to sort of blend that in and remove any excess. For this particular piece, you can see this is original as is, kind of old school yellow. My client just wants this toned into more of a brown family instead of a yellow family, so I'm going to show you how I do that. So again, there's a bazillion techniques out there. I use different techniques. This is just one that I'm going to use today and show you with the dark wax. Another thing is, these are the wax brushes that Sloan sells. They're a little bit of an investment at about $55 a piece, but very, very, very well worth it in my opinion. I can't do what I'm going to do today with pretty much anything except the wax brush. Sometimes you can use chip brushes. They sell these cheap chip brushes at Walmart, Lowe's, etc. You can get a little bit of the effect with these, but I just can't really get in all the crevices that I want to when using these. So that's an option for you, but today we'll be using the wax brushes. I have two. I use one when I'm just using clear wax and one when I'm using dark wax, but I don't want to contaminate the two, so just kind of showing you some options, but I'm going to set the clear brush one to the side today. Okay, so we're going to get started, and what I do with the dark wax is I open my wax can. Looks like this. A little bit scary in the get-go. I know a lot of you are scared of the dark wax, but don't be. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. And for me, I kind of get a glob of the wax out, and I put it in a paper plate or paper bowl. It could be plastic, but it's just so it's a little bit easier to work with. Just use a little paint stick to do that. And I take my wax brush, I sort of just dip it in here, and then I use the dry part or the part with not much wax buildup to sort of get it off and smooth it out. And you can see what it looks like when I get ready to get started. You just kind of want to evenly distribute it through the bristles. So all we're going to do on this piece is we're just kind of going to go in like motions, sort of brush strokes in the general grain or direction of the wood that you're working with. And then we'll sort of go in a circular motion when there's much detailing. So to get started on this piece, all we're going to kind of do is just start rubbing it in, and you'll see me, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of lifting my brush off and on. I don't know how well it will show up in the video. And then you'll see when we get into some of these areas with detail, I'll start working it into the crevices. The thing with wax is once you kind of get it on there, you've got to let it set. Even if you want to go darker, which I'm going to, you have to let that set and then come back over it. If I was to go back over that with wet wax right now, it would start pulling off the original layer. So we're just going to kind of keep on going in the direction of the wood and just sort of working it in, doing it on the handles and in between. And you can look at my blog post that I did yesterday at the-junction.blogspot.com and see some befores and afters of a piece that we did like this. And as you can see, it sort of just kind of does its own thing, and when you get in here in crevices, you'll see it kind of leaves it a little bit darker, and the more you just kind of play with it, the more you'll work it and kind of see how easy it is to use. And like I said, people get a little bit nervous about working with the dark wax, but if this happened to be chalk paint and I had put the clear wax on, I would come back over it with clear wax following this to sort of take some off and smooth it in a little bit. But since we're just kind of toning this into the brown family, it's not really necessary. You can see, we'll look in just a second at this darker side versus the lighter side, and you can kind of see the difference in the two. And where I've got these heavier spots in this area, we'll kind of come back and rub that in a little bit. This wax too, just so you know, the anti-Sloan wax is it's really a good texture, kind of the texture of Crisco. Some waxes are a little bit harder and some are softer. To me, this is a really easy to use wax. It's a little bit expensive too, $27 a can, but this is the little glob we started with, and it might take maybe 2 of those globs to do this entire dresser, so you can tell that it goes a really long ways. And here's just one last little example I'll show you of kind of getting into the area of the detailing down here at the bottom on this piece. Right down here where you've got this heavy detail is where I kind of just take the brush and work it in circles, and it'll get the wax in all those crevices. And then I sort of just go back over it in the direction of the grain. This is where you would also, if you were using this on top of a chalk paint, kind of rub and buff off, and it would leave the wax in the crevices but sort of take it off of the highlighted area. So anyways, there you have it. You can kind of see the difference between the browner side and the yellow side. And I'll keep working with this and smooth it out a little bit, but be sure to visit our website and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.